So what is throttle lag? So throttle lag is the amount of time it takes for your foot that hits the accelerator pedal, the throttle pedal, or TP, as a lot of people will refer to it as in data logs. That's what a lot of times you'll see it indicated as, TP, or throttle pedal. And the amount of time that it takes for this throttle pedal signal to reach the throttle body, or TB, that is on the engine. The throttle body opens up to allow air into the engine, which of course then fuel is injected relative to the amount the throttle body opens, and that gives you power. So that's how the vehicle acts. So your throttle body on this car, it's way down there, but your throttle body is going to open a certain percentage. So if I press the gas pedal, or throttle pedal, right, 50%, then one might expect the throttle body to open 50%. Well, it's not always the case, as we'll discuss. And yes, while electronic signals can travel at extremely high rates, there are throttle lags built into components, and there are components that are programmed or have instances of throttle lag, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with an accident or a mistake, or the signal just can't travel fast enough if I had good enough wire, or if I just buy a throttle modulator, it'll speed the signal up, or this and that. It's not always the case, and we're going to talk more about that. I'm going to do 3/4 throttle pushes here. That's right, the tachometer really never moves. That is throttle lag. We'll do full throttles now. Takes a long time. And here's the car in drive, and it'll transmission creep up to about 4 miles per hour, but you'll notice when I give it 3/4 throttle, it really won't actually go anywhere other than transmission creep. That's just the car creeping, as you can see right now. So a lot of people want to know, what can I do to help reduce throttle lag? And there really is not a lot, to be honest. So the throttle lag that we're seeing here is what we call an initial tip-in, okay? So that's when you tip in, okay? And this is just not able to be remedied by like a sprint booster or a Madness Go pedal. Those are throttle modulators. They hook up to your throttle pedal down here, and they change the signal, really, the input signal of how much you're requesting from throttle. So if I press down 20%, I'm requesting 20%, but the modulator may say, no, he's actually requesting 30%. That's great. So, for that purpose, if that's what you want, to press down the pedal a smaller amount and get more response, that is what they do, and they do a fine job of it. However, that will not make the signal get there any quicker, the initial signal. So, and that's what would be nice if we could do, right? They will not do that. Now, so again, what their job would be is really what Alfa Romeo does themselves, right? When you put the Alfa Romeo in advanced efficiency mode, it has a different throttle map. So when you push down on the pedal 30% when you're in advanced efficiency mode, you may only be getting about 20% of the throttle body opening in the car. So you're going to be getting less actual output depending upon, based upon your pedal input. Likewise, if you push the pedal in advanced efficiency mode 80%, you may only get 50% throttle body opening, and that's because it's advanced efficiency mode. It is designed to save you fuel economy. You're going to get less output as you press on the pedal. It helps you to save fuel economy. That's what it's built for. It also could be used for snow, this kind of thing. Whereas if you put it in natural mode, you're going to get, let's say across the pedal, when you press it 20% or 30%, you might get close to 20% or 30%. And when you put it in dynamic mode, when you put it in D mode, you may get, 25% throttle body opening when you press the pedal 20%. And people say, oh, it feels a little peppier. Well, it's giving you that feel because your body has learned how far to press the pedal. That's just a natural behavior, a body behavior of how hard to press the pedal of what you get, and changing the mapping gives you a different feel. And everybody's different on what they like. There's no right or wrong to what you want for feel. If you're trying to race in advanced efficiency mode, I guess you could say that's probably wrong, because it's probably, unless you're racing on ice, it's probably not going to be very helpful to you. But otherwise, it really is just for driving around town. It's preference. You could drive around town in advanced efficiency mode and have just, a fine experience if that's what you prefer. Likewise, you can drive around in dynamic mode if you want, and that's a fine experience too, if you want to always kind of feel like it's, you're unleashing the beast every time you press the pedal. That's fine, and that's something that every car company has a slightly different manner in which they feel that it's appropriate for their throttle to be modulated. Like I said, the Mercedes E-Class is a good example. That car was built for more luxury, so when you press the pedal down in a Mercedes E-Class, 20%, you get about 10% actual throttle body opening, and that's so that when you take off, people's heads aren't, banging the back of their seat backs, and it feels very nice and smooth. That's just something that's very easy to change in the throttle mapping, in the computer programming. It's very simple to do, and so manufacturers do that. Contrary to popular belief, throttle mappings on OEM cars are not always linear. In fact, usually they're not linear. In fact, this car would be extremely non-linear when you're in advanced efficiency mode. So, meaning when I press down on the pedal 50% in advanced efficiency mode, you are not getting 50% throttle body opening. It's not linear at all. You hear a lot of people say, oh, well, if I put on a throttle, booster or modulator, you're going to lose linearity. Well, not necessarily. You can, if you crank it all the way up and throw the car in dynamic mode, you're going to lose a ton of linearity. Your throttle is going to be an on and off button. However, if you were to use it in advanced efficiency mode and modify the lower end of the signal in one of their throttle maps, you could actually get increased linearity. You could actually get to a point where you're modifying that signal where when you give it, 10%, you're getting 10%, 20%, you're getting 20% throttle body opening. I push down on the pedal 50%, I'm getting 50% throttle body opening at the engine. So, you could actually create a more linear map if you wanted to, which, and a lot of, again, in fact, most maps, you actually couldn't achieve that by not modulating the signal, because most maps are not completely linear. Again, that's okay. I have no problem with the maps. I don't use a device on this truck. I don't have one, but so again, it's all preference, and some people may have a different preference as to how the car feels when they press on the accelerator. So I hope that explains it. I would recommend getting a device that has a very good manufacturing reputation behind it, because they do modulate the throttle signal, and when you mess with that, you don't want a device that has failures. And companies like Sprint Booster that have been around forever, you just don't find as many problems with them as the companies. There are a lot of companies that resell stuff that are for every car, and you calibrate them on your car, and they're sold on eBay. You can get them cheaper than the rest, and that's fine. But the concern there is that if it really wasn't designed to work on your car, and they're not using automotive quality components to them, and you have a failure, a lot of people are not ready for that. If you don't practice to make sure you hit the brake pedal when you have a runaway throttle. If you don't know to hurry up and grab the stop start button, you know, these kinds of things, which these cars all have safeties on them. If you grab the brakes while your throttle is going, you know, the throttle will shut down, and you can turn the car off. You can, you can shove, the shifter into neutral. You can do all of those things that will stop you from. But if you're not the type of driver that practices those things or is aware of those things, then that could be really a dangerous situation to have a throttle, that's not functioning properly. So do please, find the controller, if you must use one, that has a very good reputation. It's just, it's not something that I don't save money on brakes, and I try not to save money on, anything that could be safety related like that.